Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. So today we are going to discuss about modals in React. Okay, so basically, as you can see here, we have a product catalog. So we would be building all these by ourselves. Okay, step by step. So this is not just a e-commerce application. This is just a product cards mentioning product names and having two CTAs, which is call to actions. One is edit and delete. So the main purpose of this here is to demonstrate how to build a React model component and how to build a scalable React model component. Okay. So here, if you see, there are edit button and delete button. So as a user, user wants a reconfirmation for every action. So when we hit edit here, a pop-up will be opened. So this indicates are we sure want to edit or not. If we hit yes, another pop-up or another model will be opened. So just to edit. Now if I hit save, another confirmation pop-up will be open. So all these React models, right? Like now the current situation is we have stacked up two models at once, right? So let's in this video let's discuss how we can build entirely this. Okay, how we can build scalable models in React. Okay, so guys, before jumping into the code, let's just first explore what could be the anti-patterns of React models. Okay, because there are n number of ways to solve this problem. Like it's just a dialog pop-up, right? We have a n number of ways to open a dialog kind of a pop-up in any React application. So every model is very simple. Like we can just build a simple model, right? So, but let's say we are going to build a model and we need one state, right? Is open and set is open. Okay. There would be one button just like I showed you earlier, right? Edit or delete button. So clicking on that, a model would be open, right? But what if I want to open multiple different models in a single component, in a single React component, or in let's say in a single page. Okay, but assigning a boolean for every model is possible, but it's a very bad practice and it's a very anti-pattern. So something like this. So I want to show a model for a particular task. I want to show a confirmation model for that particular task. I want to show a double confirmation model for that particular task. So if you see how bad the code it is, it will work fine. It will work fine. But in order to build a scalable model in React, right, this is not the right way to do it. Okay, this just it's a very bad practice, and just to complete a one entire flow, we are just creating a three use states, and every use state change will re-render the entire component of entire React component, right? So instead of that, right, we can do something very easy and very uh, accessible. Okay, so another anti-pattern would be so usually what happens, right? If you are building a production ready React application, there might be a lot of child component, parent components, and sub child components, right? So let's say you want to uh, trigger multiple models from different components in a parent tree. Okay, so let's say there's a app.jsx as a parent component, and there will be a next parent component, there will be the next parent component, and we usually try to keep the state in the parent component only, is open or set is open, and we'll pass the state we'll drill down the prop state to the props. Okay, props of the sub components and childs, right? We'll also take a callbacks of set state back to the parent, right? Which is a very bad practice, because just to show a model, we are just re-rendering the entire tree. So for example, our let's say state is in main parent component, and we are just passing those, we are exposing the state as well as the callback to the next component, and the same to the next component. And finally, at some position, we would be needing the React model to open, right? So just to open that, and maybe we might open here as well. So just to open that a particular model, a particular component, we should not be using, like, we should not be adding our state into the in the app.js, right? So basically what happens, right? This is very why it is anti-important, because delete button requires to be opening a model, okay? But why should page component and section component needs to know there's a state called isOpen, or there's a callback called onClose? So this is a very bad practice and a very anti-pattern of the React, okay? So another anti-pattern would be, so what people usually do is they'll try to create a component, okay, just as a model component, and they'll just try to add a z-index, higher z-index, so that whenever they open, it will be top of everything in their app, okay? Again, it is possible, can be done, doable, but in a very, it's a very bad practice and anti-pattern, right? So for example, let's say we would be creating a confirm dialog component, and in the z-index I'll be adding 999, let's say the most highest z-index ever, right? So again, this is also still very bad thing, right? Because if we want to render, if you want to render multiple models in a single page, if you want to stack models, again this will fail. We have to change the z-index, because we can't launch the same z-index models, right? So next thing would be, so something like this, on a single flow, we might need a scenario where on a single entire user flow, we might have to show uh, more than one models, okay? So for example, let's say if you want to delete a product, okay, and we want to take a confirmation, so we want to show a model of confirmation. Are we sure want to delete that? So on confirmation, we need to show double confirmation model, right? So something like this, like show model on confirm, again show model, again on confirm, then delete, right? Again, it's a very bad practice. We should not be doing it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, designing this entire flow, right? And whatever anti patterns I've showed you right now, those are not actually a model problem. Those are actually state problem, like how we manage our state. Instead of writing is confirmation, is double confirmation, is show model, so we would be needing some smart state rather than multiple different scenario states, okay? So how the fix would be is, we would be keeping one array which will be having n number of model data, not just n number of booleans. Just like I showed you earlier, right? Is confirmation, is double confirmation. So we won't be needing 10 different states, or we won't be needing multiple different boolean states. We would be needing one array, just one array, okay? So something like this. There's an array called models, okay? So as soon as we trigger a model, that model data will be added to the models array, confirm, delete, edit profile, or any other thing, right? Double confirm. So it will stays in one array only. Now, one more thing is, so usually what happens, right? People used to add models in, like, very in a child component. So for example, if you see, this is our app component, this is our one more component called page, this is a card component, and here model we'll be showing, and based on some use state, we would be showing and hiding that model. Again, it's a very wrong way. So there will be a 100% z-index issues here, okay? So for example, if you see the card style is z-index 5, and if the model z-index by uh, or for some reason it is less than 543, the model won't appear. So we should not do this. This is a very anti-pattern. So instead of this, right, this problem directly can be solved using a create portal. So in React DOM, right, there is a method called create portal that will take the JSS and inject the JSS into the body of the HTML DOM, and rather than inside the root of the app, right? So it will directly inject into document.body, single stacking context. So how that is possible? Using create portal. So this create portal is a method, a function given by a library called React DOM. Okay. So now, if you see how that the our latest fix will be work. So we would be creating a one hook. Okay. Let's say I'll use confirmation or confirm. So that will be exposing a method called confirm. So we can write like this. There's a button called delete. So on click of this, we would be directly using the confirm button. So there's no required of local state, no multiple 10 boolean use states. Okay. This is the very cleanest and very perfect and scalable method to build a React models. Okay. Now same. So instead of that also, right, we can make our opening and closing of React models in a async promises. Okay, it's like a promises. So which would be very easy to do and very basic thing to do. Everybody can understand this. Okay, this is a scalable method to do as well. Okay, so just to take a notice, in React, right, the models are not the component. So basically, those should be like a promise that is waiting to resolve. Okay, whenever a model is open, it should be waiting a promise to resolve, close, or double confirm, whatever it may be. Okay, so yeah, let's jump into the code. We'll do the coding of the product I showed you earlier, right? That small app. Okay, so we would be doing that in Vite application. So let's start by scaffolding the Vite application. We'll go with the Vite, right? First, we have to go to Vite.dev website. Okay, you can explore this Vite. It's a very good build tool for the web applications, where it will just not only parses our app but also builds in a minified JS versions. Okay, so I'm gonna use npm just to scaffold a new latest Vite project. Okay, let me just copy this. Okay, let me just so I'll do one thing. I'll paste it. Okay, so project name I would give React Scalable Modals. Package name also would be yes. So I would be installing with React. Okay. Uh, let's just take only TypeScript. I would go with the weights lint only. Anyways, we are not concentrating on linting of our code in this session, in this video. Okay. So we will be going with our lint. Yes. Okay, cool. Now the server has started, right? So now we'll go to this application. So now you can see we have just started scaffolded our application into Vite. Okay, and took the tech stack as a React. Okay, this is just a basic React application. Okay, so now let me pull up that uh, project as well. Cool. So this is our project. Okay, so see, we have a lot of stuff here as we don't require all of this. So we'll just remove all these by default code. Okay, because we don't require all of this. So we'll be writing our entire our own code. So now I would do something like I would first go and create the folder structure. So let's first create a folder called components. Okay, next create a folder called Modal. So here we would be adding our modal code and logic, everything. Second, since it's a TypeScript project, so we need to keep a folder of types, and we might require some little functions or little folders, right? That's why it is. Okay. Now let's create a component. Okay. So as I showed you in the starting of the video, the demo of the product. So we'd be first creating a product. Okay, product app. So default, right? This would return a JSX. For now, empty fragments. Cool. So now here we need to do something First, we'll just create the entire wrapper of the product without the cards, right? The header of the product, right? We'll just create that. Okay. Now, for that, I'll be adding the name. So this is the class name catalog. Let's name it as a catalog page. Okay. Inside this, there would be a section with a class name catalog hero section. Okay. Now we need one more section which product wrapper. Okay. So here we would be adding the list of products. Okay. This is just a header component. Cool. Okay, just to save the time, I'll be copy pasting all the code, but I'll explain you each and every line of the code what it does. Okay, so since we need to store the product list, right? Let's create a use state. Okay, we'll name it as products. Good. Now, since we use the TypeScript, it's better to define the types as well. Product. Okay. Now we'll just add a file called types. Product types. Okay. Here we'll add an interface product. Let me just get the exact keys. Okay. So here a product would be having a unique ID, name, description, price, category, stock, and accent. This is just a color accent. Okay. And let's also create a card props as well. Okay. Card props. Let me get that as well. So we would be exporting all this, okay, so that we can use in our components. Good. Okay, now we just have to import it here. Okay. So now we'll just first complete the hero section. Okay. Later we'll come into this product section, list of products section. So hero section requires one more, let's say one more subsection. I will be adding that as well. Catalog hero. So we'll be using BEM convention for writing the class names, like block element modifier. So basically this becomes a block, this becomes an element. If there is any variation in this particular element, then it will become a hyphen like first hyphen disable, something like this. So basically BEM stands for block element modifier. So this will be the block, this is the element. For that element we have a different modifiers, so that can be written as a hyphen, this is underscore. Okay, so we will be following the same strategy to write the class names. So now here the content, first I would be adding a small title, not really a title but a text to showcase, okay, about what we are doing today. I'll call it as eyebrow. Okay, because it stays on the top, just denote something very short way, like very short form. Let's say promise based modal demo. Okay. Now I'll just get the code here just to move the things in a very fast pace. Okay, we'll be adding product butler, and this is just a description. Now we need to show one more thing. In this section only, there will be a one more subsection. Just this is just only for beauty purposes, not a requirement. I'm just trying to set the page in a very beautiful manner. Now let me also check. I think we already have the hero here, right? Hero image. So let me just import the same from the assets. All right. Now we would be completing the products. Okay. We need to create a one more component for that each card. Okay. I am just adding the products here. Okay. Let me see the warning. Product is possibly undefined. Yeah. Because nothing is there here, right? So we'll do one thing. We'll go and create a dummy products data in utils product.util.ts. Now I'll just copy the product list here. Okay, cool. So we just created a dummy data of array of products, okay, which has all these data information. So now I would be just directly using it here. Since we also require to create this card component, and yeah, we need the renaming as well. So let me just copy the function. Basically this, as I showed you, right, this just renames the product. Okay, let me just create one more component of card.ts6. Okay, let me first give you the JSX. Okay, so basically we'll be using article HTML tag. Okay, we could use the div as well. I'm just trying to be aligned with the semantic HTML more. Okay, so it's just a wrapper, and we have a product media, and the body would be, we will be having the category and the stock, the title, description, price, and the footer. We have two buttons. One is edit button and one is delete button, right? So let's also add the functions of this edit and delete button. Check it. So now I would be just adding. So since we are passing all that product details from the props, let me take that from the props. Okay. Also, let me add the types of the props. I think we have already added, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we'll just import it here. We'll be accessing all the details of which were present in inside that project, inside that product object. Okay. Now we need to create functions, whatever functions we have. Let me get that. Okay. Now if you see, this is just a formatted price. We just formatting to, like, because in our utils, right, it's just a number, so we'll be showing as a USD. That's the reason we would be just formatting that into a currency. Now what's missing? So let me import the CSS properties from the React, and now we need to add edit and delete functionality, edit and delete callback functions, right? Now something is missing here, right? So we'll come to this. Okay, basically we just created a promise to show the model, right? First we'll create a model component, then we'll come and use. So if I go to model, let's create a model renderer dot p6. Okay, let's also create a separate types for it. We can add in that also, but would be better if for a separate of concerns. Okay, now we need to, since we are thinking in a scalable perspective, instead of normal use state and normal context, uh, use context, right? We would be using the Redux toolkit here. Okay, for that we need fewer files. Let's say, since model itself is kind of a confirmation, I would be naming that into confirmation dot size dot px. Now, since the slides will have the all the Redux stuff, we need a separate file to get that state, okay, in the form of selectors. Confirmation dot. Okay, now let me just. So since it has a lot of different components as well, so we can create one more folder for components, and we'll be exposing all of our methods and states via a hook. So we'll be creating hooks folder wrapped into a create portal. So basically this will try to add our model into the body of the HTML rather than inside the root. Okay, so yeah, let me get that all those stuff very quickly. I'll just explain you line by line what's happening. Okay, so we'll be starting our index of our model to be base 1000, because as we stacked up, right, we need to increment the z index, because uh, in order to do a stack, so someone earlier the earlier model has to be on base z index, and the second subsequent model has to be on upper indexes. Okay, so let's just use all those. Okay, instead of that, right, first let me first be ready the keep ready the reducer. Okay, so now I would be going, so before that I have to create a store, actually. Redux store.ps. Now to export that store, right, I might have required store dot, first we'll configure the store, export const store equals to configure. This is the exact most, this is exactly what we want. And confirmation, yeah, confirmation reducer. So this is the story, we need to export these, export the types of this. Okay, I'll just copy the types. Okay, now we need to create this. Okay, we have not created a slice of it, we just created a store. We have to create a slice and return it to store. Store will expose that as a state, global state. Okay, I would directly head over to the slice. Let me just get the entire content. Cool. Yeah, let me just add all the types of. So we are just creating a slice. This is the method from Redux Toolkit. We're just creating a slice from create slice. Okay. This is the standard convention of that create slice, which will take the initial state. So in that initial state, we would be having only the array of models. Okay, we would be creating a multiple action creators in a reducer that will try to modify this state. Okay, just like a push model. If I want to push something, if I want to remove a model data from the array, pop model. If I want to update something, update model. And if I want to close, just empty that array, all will be closed. Okay, so we have just created the slice, okay, of our data to be stored of a model. Have I not exported this? Yeah, it's exported. Okay, maybe because we have not installed the Redux toolkit, right? That might be the reason. So once it is installed, uh, all things will be settled up. Is add desktop store hooks. I think we have not. Oh, that's the reason we have not exported our store hooks, and we have not exported our types here. That's the reason. Okay, now it is. If you see confirmation slice, maybe because we are doing something wrong. Let me just check once again. Okay, okay. We have to just import it directly. We have written selectors as well. There's a selector called select models, which would directly just return me this confirmation models. Okay. Now we just import all the, this is the types. Okay. We'll just import user effect as well. What else we have? So we're just importing the creator portal, and so these are the methods we need to write. Okay. Pop up. I think we need to create one more small components. We haven't created any small components which are required here. Okay. Cool. Let me just create a hooks as well. Okay. Let me create a hook called use. Sorry. Use confirmation.ts. Okay. Let me get the entire content here. So this will be having all the methods which something like resolve model, resolve confirmation, resolve validate, all this stuff. Okay, so we'd be so every time, see, if you see the confirm, so we'd be creating a promise, and that those promises we'll be adding to the models array So every promise have a sort of a unique ID which will be created by this, and which will be setting as a promise map dot set. Okay, cool. Now let me just import that into our model renderer. Okay, model renderer. Cool. What else we are missing? The components we are missing. One, this one component pop model. I think this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we need these two things. Okay. So basically, why we need a particular model layer style is because when we stack up our models, right, we need to increment the z index. So, for example, if the current model, if a first model has a z index of 1000, the second model should be the 1001, 1002, 1003, something like that. So, a helper function would be required. So, I would be adding that, let's say here only at the top. Okay, let me just get that. Cool. Let me just import this from the React. Okay, so if you see this, because this returns the CSS properties, it's not a void function. So the first component we require is ask dot CSS. The second component we require is delete dot CSS. Third one would be edit product dot CSS. Okay, where we can edit the product's name, and then the index dot CSS. Okay, so first we'll add the index, the pop-up thing. Okay, now everything is dependent on that because this we are driving the pop-ups from here. Okay, either it is a delete pop-up or it's an edit pop-up. Okay, next thing would be edit product, and yeah, it might be duplicated, but it will work fine. Next thing would be delete, and next thing would be ask, the confirmation ask. Now all must be resolved, right? So if I hit pop-up components, yeah, this will work fine. Now let's come to the product. Okay, let's import the card as well. This is without errors. Now you have to import it. Cool. I think mostly we're done. I don't think so anything is missing. Okay. Oh, we have to import all those to the app.js. One is product wrapper and model renderer. Error record in card component. Okay. We just add the CSS. Okay. Don't worry, guys. I'll give you all this source code. You can play around with the source code. Okay. For now, I'm just copy pasting all the styling what we have. Okay. I don't know why my network is a sleepy little bit. Okay, we'll just restart our server. Let's see. Yeah, you're here. Okay. So now let me close this. So same thing, whatever we have shown in the past. Okay, edit. Yes. If I hit escape also, the model will close. Edit. Yes. Yes. There's a stack model over here. Okay, if I hit escape, it goes back. Edit, escape. Yes. Some editing. And hit save. Yes. That ends. Okay. So this is it, guys. This is how we can write all this. We can build the scalable app. So if you observe the architecture of here, right, it's very clean. Okay, instead of multiple 10 boolean use states like is confirmation, is double confirmation, is triple confirmation. So we'd be adding into array with just a simple action creators, push model, pop model, update model. That's it. Okay, this is how we can scale, and this is how like we would be. So this is how we can build a scalable React models. Okay, so thank you so much for the watching. If you like this video, please hit subscribe, like the video, comment down whatever uh, other ways to solve this problem. And if you have created or solved or like created a number of React model components, just let me know or drop the source code in the comment section. So anyways, I'll be dropping the entire source code of this into the description. Please check out to this repo and take a look at the entire code. Okay, thank you so much for watching.